Howdy folks, welcome back to the Nautical Mile Arc. Today we are still in Mexico, but a different place. We are in Cancun at the international airport. Then we're going to fly to Isla Mujeres, which means island of women or women's island. And I'm doing this flight because my wife, when she was in Mexico with her mother a couple months ago, she took a boat to the island and had fun. So I'm like, well, I'll never get there in real life, so I might as well get there in the flight simulator. So here we are, and we're going to use the freeware Ryan Navion 205, which we did a few videos ago, and I liked it so much I promised I would use it again, and we're going to start using it more. I'm also going to start doing more VFR, GA/VFR flights. Now, it used to be all that I would do were little tiny GA flights, and then I started doing these longer and longer and longer trips in the 1900D, and then I'm doing more jet stuff. So we're going to kind of go back to our roots. We'll still do the 1900. We'll just do smaller flights. And we'll still do the 727 occasionally, you know, with shorter legs. But I want it to be in a little tiny plane and a little tiny flight. And also, my frame rate counter is on today because I was having some really weird microstutter issues. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my recording software because I actually beefed up my recording software. I'm recording a much higher quality, even though it's the same resolution. Let's get all these weird issues. So I just want to make sure it's not frame rate drop. And I realized that even though I needed to use VSync for the past couple months across all games, Flight Sim, Minecraft, all these indie games, everything I played, I needed to use VSync or I would get this terrible tearing. I was getting really weird issues with VSync as of 2 days ago. All of a sudden, VSync was a mess. I turned off VSync for Flight Sim, Minecraft, and all these other games. And now my frame rates have, well, they were locked at 30, but they are better than they were prior to VSync before, and now everything is smooth. So I don't understand enough about it to why turning off VSync looks better now when for many months turning on VSync was required. I didn't see an update from NVIDIA or anything. And of course VSync doesn't apply to you because you're not watching it through a capture card, but it applies to me, and it was really hindering my game experience. And so right now, as I pan around, the microstutters are basically gone, and we're in the 70s for frames without VSync. So I don't understand, and this is with everything cranked up still. So I don't understand the VSync thing, but maybe some of you computer people out there can help me understand why I was required to use VSync in order to make the game playable. Woke up yesterday, VSync made the game unplayable for every game, not just Flight Sim, and now having VSync off, it's super playable. I don't get it. I'm not going to pretend to get it, but it does bring more questions than answers. Anyway, Cancun International Airport. Real weather's turned on. 14 knot wind on the ground. We'll see if this plane can handle it. It's going to be, it could be a doozy given the winds, but we will see. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to hop inside and get this thing started up. And we are going to, first of all, do our weight and balance. I also noticed that my computer's fans are loud today. I've had this computer for a couple months now, and the fans have been so quiet, never heard a thing. Both VSync off, the computer's spooling up harder. If I turn VSync on, it gets quiet. Isn't that funny? Obviously, the GPU's working harder, so the fans are working harder. But with VSync on, the fans are quiet. As soon as I uncheck VSync and hit save, the fans go crazy. So hopefully it doesn't pick up too much in the microphone. Let's keep the weight and feel the way it is, actually. Let's see here. 1636. I was hoping to take off by 1700, which I assume we will be able to do. It's not going to take half an hour to start this thing up. Parking brake is set. Oh, gosh. I have to remember my presets are. There's parking brake there. Oops, turned on my speakers. I don't use headphones anymore because the pressure of the headphones was giving me migraines. So I don't use headphones. I'm trying to be mindful of speaker bleed into the microphone, but I don't think it's a problem. Generator on. Okay, I got to remember now the layout of this aircraft. It's been a while. I've only flown it twice. So you fly something twice, and then you take a couple weeks off, and it makes for a slow process. So generator on, battery on, check the 3 green landing gear lights. Barometer, altimeter, and weather. Yeah, weather's pretty insane. So let's get our weather here. So we're just flying from here, right over here. Quick little flight. It'll take us longer to start up and taxi than it is to fly. Alrighty, let's see. Also, our destination airport isn't even a sky vector, but it's in the sim. Isn't that interesting? Maybe it doesn't exist anymore. My flight sim data is out of date. 3002 on the altimeter. Where the heck is the altimeter? There it is. 300. Okay, so that'd be 3000. That would be 3002 right there. Wind 130. Take away the 0, so 13. Runway closest to 13. We have a 12 left and right. So that's what we're going to do. So 12 left or right doesn't matter. 12 is going to be way over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out and then taxi all the way down. Oh my gosh, that taxi is going to be much longer than the flight, isn't it? Taxi all the way down to take off on 12 right. All right, that's what we'll do. Put that away. Next, reset flight controls because my yoke does weird things. Oh, that also means reset my rudder pedals. All right, carb heat off. I think I can get that from here. Carb heat off, right? Yeah, pushed in cold. Cold would be off. Pushed in. Cowl flaps open. Pushed in. There we go. Strobe position lights on. Strobe position. These are landing lights. Strobe position. Strobe. There we go. Closed canopy, which I have a preset for that. Remember the era? There's an app for that. Gosh, that was 12 years ago already. There's an app for that, and there really wasn't. Now there really is an app for everything. There is a preset for that. All right, mixture rich, pushed in, props in, low pitch, throttle, quarter, check fuel gauge. Fuel gauge right there in the middle. Check fuel shutoff pushed in. Now I know in my previous video I corrected myself with the fuel shutoff and stuff, but I think that's it right there. But I can't actually remember. It's been so long. Fuel pump on. That's over here, right? I think. Yeah, my volume's too low. I don't hear anything. Push electric starter. That's this, right? There we go. Make sure we're not rolling away because this thing will overcome the brakes. Fuel pump off after engine runs smoothly at 800 RPMs. So if we bring this down, there's 800 RPMs. Fuel pump off. There we go. Gradually increase to 1200 for engine warm up. Oh, I remember this part. And then our oil temperature cylinder head got like way past the red. So there's oil temperature, and then over here is cylinder head temp. Must decrease after oil temp reaches 150, but I think it means 105. No, it says 105 in the documentation. I think it means 150. Okay, let's keep an eye on that. Hit Y to sync the gyros. There they flipped. Okay. Taxi, make sure flaps are up in this one. Hydraulic power on. That is this. Well, come on. On, which is out by default for some reason. Lean the mixture. And then taxi. No taxi lights, just landing lights. How is our temperature doing here? Okay, let's bring this back. Make sure it's still idles. Bring mixture back. Oh, that does a lot. That's really sensitive. Wow, I love it. Okay, there we go. Simple as that. Feet on the rudder pedals. They work because they reset them. So we're just going to go out. See that windsock? Is that crazy? I'm going to go out. Oh, that was weird. It was like stuck to the ground. Please don't tell me we're going to have weird issues like we did in the 1900 in my last flight. See, everything's pulling to the left. Oh, because the wind is in... No, the wind is blowing to the right. So why would we be blowing to the left without... Well, at least we have the active runway selected. I think I really need to recalibrate this, because if I take my feet off the rudder pedals, look at this. We go that way. Well, you know what? If the wind is blowing from the left and it hits the tail, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's just roll with it. If I have problems in the air, then I'll recalibrate, but otherwise I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's taxi away. And we will, I want to spin around and see if we can see that airplane. There he is. Is he going to come after us? That'd be kind of funny. This is really difficult to do backwards. I just want to watch that plane. I think that's kind of cool. Chasing us down. Let's get a little more haste in our taxi here. No, we're still pulling to the left. So maybe I do need to recalibrate things after our disaster in the previous video. He's chasing us down. It's kind of funny. It's going to be a long taxi. Oh my gosh, you think he's going to go faster than us and then come through us? I don't know. Let's taxi forward so I can stay somewhat on the taxi line. I guess we could just use half the runway. Alright, I recalibrated everything and I'm still getting blown around. So it just has to be the wind and the way that the simulators are interpreting the wind on this aircraft, because still giving us a hard time. Looks like we're losing them though. That's good. Alright, so we're kind of holding up traffic here, so they're giving us permission to do a midfield takeoff, which will be good because we're just wasting a bunch of time. So we're just going to pull up here, and they're actually going to allow us to pull right onto the runway. So what do we need to do here? We're not going to do a run-up today. We did one in the last time we flew this thing, so that takes care of that checklist. Next checklist here. Landing lights can come on, which are right here. Dome lights are off. We never turn them on. Note the time on the clock, which we will once we actually pull out onto the runway. And what does it say? It says that it's almost 4 a.m., even though the sim you saw yourself. We're trying to get going by 5 p.m. So it says whatever. It says almost 4 p.m. when we're supposed to be 5 p.m. I'm confused. But anyway. Alright, so let's see what is next. Full rich, flaps up, or half down, but we're going to do flaps up, takeoff, and here we go. We're going to take off right now just like this without flaps. You only use flaps if you really need them, it says. So we'll take off, and then we have 1 minute of full throttle before we have to do something about it. So let's get going here. And rotate. No flaps to bring in. And positive rate. Gear up. And good runway choice because it's very smooth. Alright, let's see here. We were supposed to take off at 70. We took off about 80, which is fine. Oh, there's the wind kicking in. Holy cow. Gear up, raise flaps if used, which we didn't. Hydraulic control can come off. Right here. And what is next? Climb at least 80. Well, we're coming faster than that because we're not going to get too high. Props to 2200 and manifold to 27. 2200 and 27. And I can't see the gauges we're looking for here. Well, there's manifold. So 27. And we're turning. And 22. Actually, we were already like that without much effort. Okay. 22, I haven't highlighted, and 27. Okay, we're actually going to keep going lower than that because I want to do some sightseeing. So that's it for takeoff. Piece of cake. We're going to circle the airport, and it's really hazy today, so I don't know how well the sightseeing is going to go. But that is the plan. Let's check our airspeed. So I can trim down now because we're not going to climb much more than that. We're at 1,000 feet AGL, or above sea level, which is also AGL. And I think that's it. Simple enough. The island is over this way, but let's look outside first before we pull up the map. Let's see here. We'll just keep the frame rate counter on for our screenshot. How about that? Doesn't really matter. So there's Cancun, everybody. The resorts, I believe, would be up this direction. So we'd be heading towards all the resorts right now. I'm pretty sure the airport is south of all the resorts, if I remember from the map. But it's been a while since I looked at the map. I planned this flight a while ago. Well, it's looking good. Super simple flight, like I said. Too bad it's a little hazy, but I really wanted real good weather today because it's been a while. Very nice. All right, let's pull up the tablet on our laps. So if we knew the area, we would just look for landmarks and we would know where to go, right? Like, we'd be like, follow this highway for 3 minutes. And then when you see the cabin on the right, turn left or something, you know what I mean? But since we don't know the area, we need to pull up the tablet on our laps and look at the map to see where we're going. And we are headed to, where are we headed? Pretty much straight where we're going now. So I think we'll fly along this coast. And then we'll check the map again in a little bit and land at MMIM, which I guess that wasn't even in SkyVector, but it exists in the sim for some reason. And that would be Isla Mujeres. So there we go. I'm going to, well, I want to hand fly because I don't hand fly very much. That open? No. I want to hand fly, but I also want to sightsee a lot without narration, which means it's kind of hard to hand fly because we're outside. But you know what? We'll make the best of it. Just keep trimming down because we're already at 1600 just about. So I'm just going to leave you to it. I'm going to hand fly the best I can from the outside, and I'll catch you once we have an airport to land at. So there's our island already, if it hasn't already been obvious, but what a gorgeous flight. Very, very, very short. It's only been about 8-minute flight time, but wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. So let's get our destination weather so that we can see what we're looking at here. 3002, same wind too. So 130, take away the 0 is 13, which means we'll land on runway 15, which means we're pretty much going to join the pattern here, and we'll do a right traffic. There's a runway, and then we'll come down and land into the wind as best as possible. With a slight crosswind, it looks like we have an oil rig out there. We are coming up on 2700 now, so let's start our descent. And what is our descent checklist? Barometer, already got that. Mixture full because we're below 5,000 feet for destination. Fuel pump comes on. Can't get there from here. Fuel pump comes on, it says. And what else does it say? Props full. Hydraulic on once you're below 100 miles per hour. Gear down, final approach 75, touchdown 55. Where does it say for flaps? I don't have a thing for flaps. It just says flaps up right away after you land. So we'll do flaps in the arc, and then we'll do the hydraulic pump on and gear down at 100, because obviously that's how you operate your flaps. We're right over the airport now. Checking it out. Looks like it's just a taxiway, but it is an airport. I hope. Let's just take a weird downwind leg since I kind of screwed up by looking at my checklist. We'll do a weird downwind leg, and then we'll come in for our... Whoa, what is that? For our final approach. There we go. Go over the city. Big tourist area. My wife enjoyed being there, of course. We didn't do anything with the cowl flaps or anything because the temperatures are super cool. We didn't have any risk of that. Otherwise, you need to keep an eye on your oil temperature and things over here, and then your cylinder head and things over here. But wasn't a concern for us. All right, so let's keep our speed up a little bit while we annoy all these neighbors from our low approach. And then just to review, flaps can come down at 100, or hydraulic pump turns on at 100, flaps come down. First notch, gear comes down at 100. Approach at 75, touchdown at 55. Keep the nose wheel off the ground until 50 miles per hour. Alright, we're at 500 above sea level, which is basically 496 AGL. So let's try to make a very sharp turn back towards the airport here. Coordinate that turn as best as possible. Try not to descend. We gotta go steeper here because I didn't give us very much room to turn because I was so busy looking around. But we can do it. Come on. There you go. Put some effort into it there. So hard without peripheral vision, like I always say. Alright, so we're about 600 AGL, or above sea level. It's kind of hazy, kind of hard to see. I think I can make out the runway over there. A little bit to the left. Let's start coming down now. I see car headlights. I was mistaken for a beacon, but those are car headlights. Oh gosh, this is really hard to see with the haze. Ooh, maybe not the best VFR conditions if you don't know the area. If we did know the area, it'd be a different story. Yeah, I think that's the runway. Sure it is. Alright, let's get down to 100 so we can manage our hydraulics, flaps, and gear. Keep that nose level though, so we actually slow down in this case. Or another to be pointing the nose up, right? But end up staying level. So there is hydraulics, there's gear, and... oh, don't get too low, we won't be able to see the runway. First set of flaps. Whoa, float. Oh, there's a big tree. That's why it's hard to see. If we look out the window, we can see the halfway mark. Exactly spot on. Okay, we're just going to take out these trees. Oh gosh, that's crazy crosswind. From the right. Oh my. So we would want to do right wing down left rudder. But we're just going to go forward here. I need vines hanging off the trees. Okay. Touchdown at 55. Approach at 75. Perfect approach speed. Just let it touch down on its own. Right wing, left rudder. There we go. Keep that nose wheel off until 50. Well, nose wheel's down a little fast. That's okay. Not terribly bad. Flaps up right away, it says. Considering we have a 14 knot wind, slightly cross. That wasn't horrible. Let's see if the brakes work. Brakes work. There we go. Awesome. All right. Let's pull off here and get these taxi lights off. Can't get them off from here. That's a fuel pump. We're not going to worry about it. It's such a short non-taxi. We don't have much time to think about it, so let's just move this over here. And park it right there. Parking brake off. Now let's unblind everybody. Landing lights off, fuel pump off. Lean the mixture while we're sitting here idle trying to figure out what to do. Throttles all the way back. Alright, what do we need to do to shut this thing down? Now it's quick. Ooh, look at that car. 10-minute flight time or so. Let's see. Hydraulics can come off first. Strobe and position lights. Strobe and position lights. Idle for 3 minutes at 700 RPMs. Okay, let's say it's been 3 minutes. Mixture out. And then engine shut off. Yeah, engine should shut off. Ignition off. I don't remember the... Oh, yeah, here it is. Ignition off. Generator off. Battery off. And radio's off, but they turned off on their own. Okay. So now we can just open up our canopy and head outside. And it's simple as that. So there you go. Super quick flight. This goes back to my roots. These quick little GA flights. Less than, 10-minute, 20-minute flight time. That's what I used to do. And we've been getting in bigger and longer flights as I've been getting more competent in the sim. But we are going to do a few more flights like this. We'll mix in some longer ones too, but I see myself doing a few more or more often, these smaller GA flights. So if you have any requests, let me know. I do subscriber requests. And I'm just enjoying the scenery like usual. So hopefully you enjoyed the flight. I certainly did. If you found by accident, please like, please subscribe, please share with your friends. If you have any requests of your own, put them in the comments section. One more flight in Mexico coming up. Another super quickie, and then we'll go somewhere else in the world. But one more flight in Mexico, and I'll see you there.